This date's interesting in that it's an absolute treatise in how to deal with a particular type of feisty girl. This girl is a girl who is hot, but she works in a profession where she deals with a lot of very hot and even very famous people. And so even though in the grand scheme of things, she does get hit on a lot, she does get a lot of attention, and she does have a certain ego about herself sexually, she also is sort of cognizant of the fact that there are people that are richer, sexier, hotter, that sort of stuff than her as well. And she's actually ambitious, so she aspires to a lot of that stuff as well. So what you have here is a girl who's very confident on the surface, but it's based on not the most solid of a foundation. So this is a girl that will give you a lot of attitude, a lot of feistiness up front, but once you break through it, she's kind of a marshmallow. She really is looking for a strong man to lead, and she really will chase if given the proper opportunity, the proper stimulus. So throughout this interaction, from the texting all the way through the date, there's sort of a flipping of the script where she gives me a bit of a shit test, she gives me a little bit of feistiness up front, but then once I'm able to flip through that and make her chase me, it's all about just amping up the sexual tension and moving things forward. It becomes pretty straightforward from there. So to get into the text, this girl actually started texting me, and her first text was something on the lines of, do you think you can keep up with like a confident hot girl or something like that? It actually, because of Plenty of Fish, its algorithm, it actually got moved to the next page and deleted, but it was a shit test to begin with. And so the way I passed the shit test was with the following text. Haha, sure, I'm all for witty banter with someone who I read as potentially interesting and adventurous. So here what I did is I reframed her feisty, witty message as though she was, first of all, as though it was an invitation, and secondly, as though she was just like trying to like brag about herself a little bit. And I reframed any sort of selective criteria towards me to me being selective towards her. So I reframed it back at her. And again, how we pass shit tests: ignore, which doesn't work in text but does work in person; misinterpret, which is what I did here; and then agree and exaggerate, which is take it to its logical conclusion. So here I misinterpreted and it was effective. Her response was, so first let's start with a basic introduction. I'm her name and you are. So here, this is very positive, right? Here she's sort of invoking formal get-to-know-you procedures, but she's saying, I want to get to know you. So this is all very positive. There's no need to respond negatively to it. I would just go along with the frame she's setting because it's a positive, helpful frame. There's no need to fight every frame just because she puts it out there. And then I would take that frame and escalate the conversation further. So what I did was, hey, name, I'm Todd. Are you as feisty as you appear at a glance? So here I'm testing her, right? So now we've gone from her first message, she's testing me. I sort of like reframe it as though, sure, we're cool people, we could hang out. She says, okay, cool, I want to get to know you. She likes the fact that I was able to pass her test. And now we flipped it and I am testing her. So her response to that was, well, Todd, I am feisty, that's for sure. I like to keep people on their toes. But I do have a sweet side too, reserved for those who deserve it. So she's not only qualifying herself to me, trying to prove herself, but she's also hinting that she could be special for the right guy, that sort of stuff. So I view this as her sort of wanting to move things forward, her sort of like subtly propositioning me. So I think this is a pretty green light to go into a closing sequence. So here's what I do. Sounds good to me. So tell me, name, what is your view on drinks and witty banter with cute boys? First, notice how I'm using her name pretty regularly. That's a good technique in text. It's also an even better technique in person. The sound of someone's name always personalizes something. It makes it feel more intimate. It makes it feel like there's more connection, more trust, more comfort. So that's a good idea. Other than that, I'm just basically going into the closing sequence and seeing how she responds. So her response was, well, I don't drink often just for health reasons. Witty banter in general is fun. With cute boys is a plus. But I'd prefer witty banter with one person and really get to know him. So basically, this is her trying to be feisty and trying to be clever, but basically saying yes. And in fact, by trying to be feisty and clever, the way I read this is it's even more try hard. It's not only, yes, I would like to hang out with you, but yes, I would like to hang out with you, and I care deeply about how I'm being perceived. Yes, I would like to hang out with you, and I want a formal date with you. So again, I read this as now she's still trying to keep that feisty frame, but the harder she's trying to hang on to it, it's almost unnatural, and it's almost like she's chasing me even more. So I go ahead and close here by saying, I'm open to that as well. My number is number. What's yours? Todd. Again, this is the very typical closing text, and she gives me her number and her name. All right, so this date is one I view as very easy for me as someone who's pretty experienced at game, although this is the type of girl that tends to give a lot of guys who are newer to game a lot of trouble because she is a bit feisty. And also because this is a date where there was a lot of sexual tension. Like, she was very sort of like feisty and bantery and very willing to like give you that sensual look in the eye and put the pressure on you. And if you can handle that and put it back on her, you're golden. If you can't, if you crumble under it, if you shy away from it, if you back off from the sexual escalation, or if you flinch, so to speak, then you're in big trouble. But these kind of girls, honestly, 15 years into the game and with tons and tons of dating experience, they're kind of like, it's kind of like, you know, taking candy from a baby from me. So what I basically had to do here was, number one, with the feistiness, never get overwhelmed by it, never lose the frame. If anything, if these girls give you this sort of like really feisty answers and you don't really have a clever response for it, you don't know what to do, a lot of times you can just look them in the eye and just be happy to, I see, cool, right? And just not be reactive. That's the baseline, is don't be reactive. Now, if you happen to have a witty comeback, if you happen to have a way to twist it back on them, or have a turn of phrase, that's even better. But don't think that you have to. Don't think that the bar is that high. The big thing is just don't be reactive. And then once you're sort of on that ground where the feistiness ends, or there's a little bit of genuineness, then it's your job to amp up the sexual intent. It's your job to start putting that sexual pressure back on them. And that's what you see a lot of throughout this date, is we selected out the times where I'm really amping up the sexuality, I'm amping up the intrigue. And this is sort of a treatise on how to kiss. Because what you do when you decide to kiss a girl is, like, I could tell she likes me. I could tell it was down for that. And what I would do is I would just kind of leave more silences, zone in, look her in the eye a bit more, give more statements of interest, and sort of get closer. And then there's a certain moment where I just decide to go for it. And that's the moment where I reach over, I say, what am I going to do with you? Go ahead and kiss her, etc. So it's just a very clear progression to the kiss. And the big thing there is, when you do have that sexual tension, you can either kind of move into it and increase it, or you can shy away from it. If you shy away, you're not going to be kissing the girls. If you do create more sexual tension, you're basically creating a choice for the girl. She can either kiss you, or she can get uncomfortable and leave. And you want to be polarizing on your dates. You want to be the guy that's loved or hated. You want to be the guy who she kisses and goes home with, or goes home pissed off by, potentially. But you don't want to be the nice, sweet guy. She's like, oh, that was a pleasant date that went nowhere. Or that was kind of cute. Maybe I'd consider seeing him again. You want to make a clear impression. You want to be a strong presence on the date. Beyond that, you see a little bit here about seeding the pull. How I set up the idea of we could go somewhere, and then we talk some more and we kiss, and then only later do we go. It's very important to set up what you're going to do well in advance and then only go later. So that's kind of how this date went. Other side note on this date, because it's related to another date you're going to see, is this date did go on and I did pull the girl back, and then I went back out for the second date. So by slightly postponing the second date, I had a little bit of back and forth on the phone towards the end of this date, but I was able to actually manage to effectively go on both dates in the same night. So that was pretty good. And given that this is 3 girls a day, I thought I would mention that as well, because it does go along with that whole concept of scheduling multiple dates. Okay? I hope you enjoyed the date, and I'll see you on the next one. Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I was looking all over.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. That's quite the moment. I'm like looking all over, and you're like right, like 1 inch away from me. Shall we stop?
So how are you?
No, that's okay. How was your trip?
Great.
Yeah?
What's on your wrist?
Huh? I was boxing.
Oh.
And threw a couple of hooks that I shouldn't have. It was hurt actually before that, but boxing definitely did not do good things. So
Yeah, probably not.
yeah, I went to the doctor. They gave me like a shot, so we'll see.
Cortisone shot?
I didn't even know this existed until a few days ago, but now I say it, everybody knows what it is. So apparently I'm the idiot.
I mean, I don't know, not unless you're injured, so
Yeah.
lucky for you, you're not injured very often, so you shouldn't know about it.
I was an athlete most of my life, though. I should know these things.
But you were a lucky athlete, you never got injured.
I was. You're sweet. I like you already. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Let's grab a drink in a second, but tell me about this cute, feisty thing I have before me.
What would you like to know?
Everything. The most embarrassing and intimate stuff first.
The most
I'm just kidding. You have the most adorable expressions. You're welcome. It's just the right amount of feisty, but also like just a little bit timid. It's cute.
I
Yeah.
proper word to describe me. I don't know about that.
Maybe like feisty but reserved. I don't know. Like feisty but like not entirely evil.
Not entirely evil. It's so funny that you say that because
Why? Are you entirely evil?
I'm not entirely evil.
Are you sure?
I do have an evil side though. But everyone does.
Yeah. Is this a menu or we might need a couple minutes? Thanks. You were saying?
If you're not like a little bit evil, it's no fun.
What am I gonna do with you? You're awesome.
No, it's funny because a few of my friends out in New York are like, they're all so tall. Like all my friends are very tall out there.
You are very short. I'll give you that.
So
How tall are you?
5'3".
Oh,
Well,
no, you're actually not that short.
5'3.5".
Oh, you're like flats today, yeah? Oh no, you're heels.
No, that's on.
Okay, that's why. That's why you're short. Got it.
But no, their nickname for me is Midge.
As in midget?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, as in midget. But no, they all are like they're so evil. You're just like evil little thing. Like the evil little thing.
Should I be worried?
Marvelous. Unless you fuck with me.
Well, you know, let's take it slow with regards to all that. Not that you're not attractive and everything, but you know, let's start with some banter. You know,
No,
flirtation.
I meant like more along the lines of
I mean, I'm open to like cuddling and stuff, but like the whole like let's. Just kidding. No.
I think you're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm trying to assess your level of evil at this moment. All right. You have this? Okay. So that smile that you do, it's like you know like a little more than you should. You have the smile that says, I have a secret.
Maybe.
You can be fun. You're cocky though. Just a little bit.
Confident, not cocky. Don't roll your eyes. There's a clear difference.
There's a huge difference. But that's also a very like spin doctor answer. I cannot get over like that your expression. There's something about it. Something very engaging and endearing. You might be bad for me though. For real. If you're actually full of trouble and fun, you could be a bad influence. We might have too much fun together. What is this?
Oh, it's a white ink tattoo.
A what?
White ink.
White ink. Say tattoo. It's very subtle. I like it actually. What does it say?
Pato.
Okay. I feel less bad about not being able to read it. What does that mean?
Means fate. Italian. And then on this one I have Destino.
You have what? Destino? Fate and destiny? Do you believe in fate and destiny? I can't help but roll my eyes. Some of the things you say, like, am I supposed to not roll them? You're adorable. I'm not so bad overall.
You're not so bad yourself.
Glad you like. How adventurous are you?
I'd say pretty adventurous. I'm responsible though. There has to be a clear line there.
What does that mean?
Because people, when they say like, "Oh, are you adventurous?" It's like spontaneous, like, let's hop on a plane tomorrow and go somewhere. And I'm like, but I have a schedule. I have like responsibilities I have to keep. I can't fuck people over that way. I have a very strong work ethic, so for me, it's like I'm scheduled to work, unless it's like, I don't know, something like once in a lifetime. I'm not gonna just call out of work like that. So I have to make a living to it.
So, like, for most people you wouldn't, but since I'm clearly once in a lifetime, you do that for me, right?
I mean, I don't know you that well yet. I don't know, maybe.
It's okay. I'm not extending that invite just yet. It would be fun to travel with at some point eventually, potentially, maybe if we like each other, but we should take it slow. And it's hard to take someone new and like trust them intimately. So
like you seem charming and endearing and all that, but, you know, I don't know if I can trust you yet.
Can't trust this face, really?
I don't trust faces, I trust people.
Fair.
You're literally, like, just so expressive. You look so much like trouble. You are so much trouble.
That's my nickname at work.
Trouble?
Me and my best friend at work, they call us double trouble.
Really?
I'm more trouble than she is, so.
Was that so?